Hi, this is Theo from PuckerBlocks.com. Today I want to show you this Sailor fountain pen with a zoom nib. This Sailor body is called the Professional Gear. Now compared to the Profit Standard, this is a torpedo shaped body with a rounded tops and a rounded end. So the Professional Gear has a flat top and a flat end, and it's also a bit shorter. Also the design on the cap, there is actually some design on the cap here. So that's the Sailor symbol. The overall make and finish, the high gloss, the gold color, it looks really good and it feels also pretty good. Let me compare it to the standard pen that you would probably see. So it's a bit shorter, but that's not a problem because even if you use it without a cap, for me I have a small hand, I find that it's quite comfortable as well. So let's take a closer look at the nib. This is a 21K gold nib. It has a very nice design on the top, single slit, and at the side we have that little engraving here, the Z, and we have the feet section, which is the typical Sailor feet. And then we have the nib here. This is an interesting nib because it's cut at different angles. Not sure if you can see it properly. So there's one cut at this shiny side, and then we have this curved side here where the slit is, and then we have the top, which is also pretty flat. You can see it very shiny, and then the tip of the nib, which is pretty small as well. So all these contribute to how it writes, and let's see how it writes. Let me fill this pen up first. This is the standard Sailor converter at the back. So this is the twist type converter. I'm just going to dip it into the ink and then pull up some ink. Okay, let me clean this up. I'm using the Noodler's ink today. This is the Noodler's Polar Black. This is not waterproof compared to the Noodler's Bulletproof ink. So two different ink, but they have the same color. Alright, let's do some sample lines for you to see. We have thin lines, and we can get thick lines as well. So depending on how you hold the pen, you can get thin and then a bit thick. This is like I would say a fine to a medium. So you get fine to a medium. Let's try and see what lines we can get. So definitely there are some variation from thin to thick, but this is not as significant compared to a full-day nib. This is the Duke 209. This is thin and thick and thin and thick. So you can see that although there are some variations, but it's not as significant as the full-day nib. So if you want to get maximum line variation, then get full-day nib. But if you just want some line variation in terms of thickness, then this is a good pen to try out. Let's write something. Let me tilt the pen higher. So you can see that this is a bit thicker compared to the bottom, which is a bit thinner. Writing performance is very good. The nib is very smooth, just like most premium Sailor pens. And the ink flow is fantastic as well. This is quite a juicy nib, it puts out a lot of ink. So if you are using it with watercolor, then make sure that the ink dries off properly first. Let's draw something. So this is very good for quick sketching as well, because again, very good ink flow. So I'm just going to do a sketch of maybe a person. Let me try and draw a building. So it doesn't take a lot of pressure for the line to come out. I just apply very minimal pressure on the nib on the paper and the ink comes out. So that's very nice because it's very smooth flowing. The line is by default quite broad, so if you are someone who prefers to use a thinner line like those extra fine, then this pen is definitely not for you. But if you prefer medium strokes or broader, then this is a pretty good pen to consider. Personally, I prefer thicker strokes like medium and fine, so that is one reason why I like this pen a lot. So if you want line variations, you would have to make maybe a more conscious effort to tilt your pen. If not, it's not very easy to see the line variations. It's there definitely, but you would have to make a more conscious effort. You can also use this to color black areas because the ink is quite, the stroke is quite broad, so you can color black areas quite well, but this is going to definitely use up a lot more ink. But it can be done, definitely. Let me show you some hatching lines. So right now I'm tilting the pen vertically for the lines. If I tilt it down like this, then you get the thicker lines. If you want some variation to the thickness of your lines, then you can consider getting the zoom nib. It will give you some variation. But if you want maximum variation in terms of thickness, I would suggest you go for the Sailor Cross Music or other Fude nib pens like the Hero or the Duke 209 Fude nib pens. I'll post all the links to those pens that I mentioned in the video description below, and also I'll link to the text review for this particular pen, so if you want to get it, you can get it through the links that I post below. That's all for today's fountain pen review. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And also, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do subscribe for more fountain pen reviews, art product reviews, sketching tips and techniques, and also art books, sketchbooks feature. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. See you next time.